Better Call Saul is back for a second season, and just like season 1, I thought I might as well have waited until the season's finished to talk about Better Call Saul instead of doing the individual episodes. It just made more sense to me that way. And to put it very, very simply, season 2 of Better Call Saul is continuing the story of Saul Goodman before he was Saul Goodman. He's Jimmy McGill, he's trying to make a name for himself in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and he's doing that by any means necessary. Now right off the bat, more or less everything I liked about Better Call Saul season 1 is back and is present in season 2. The production quality is very high, the cinematography, the camera work, the locations, you can tell this is the same team behind Breaking Bad just by the way it's made. And the acting is really good across the board once again. Bob Odenkirk is great as Jimmy McGill, Jonathan Banks is awesome as Mike Ehrmantraut, Mike gets a few more things to do this time round, which is always good. Michael McKean as Chuck has some really good moments in there, and in particular, Rhea Seehorn, Kim Wexler, she was really good in this season. She gets a bit more of the spotlight this time round. So all the great stuff of season 1 is back, and it's just as good, if not better, in season 2. But right now, let's get into the storylines of season 2. Season 2 offers some interesting storylines for sure, including some central plots for Mike and Kim. Like I said earlier, Mike gets a bit more stuff to do in this season, which seems to lead him more towards the badass Mike that we first meet in Breaking Bad. And that's what I wanted out of Better Call Saul, and even though he might not be entirely there yet, he might not entirely be the badass that we first meet in Breaking Bad, I am glad that the show is going in that direction. But with Mike's storyline in season 2, there are moments where it teases something really awesome that's going to happen between Mike and some other characters, which if you haven't seen the show yet, I'm not going to spoil. And it trucks along through the episodes, and by episode 10, it teases something really awesome that's about to happen, and it just never happens. It felt like it was leading up to nothing, and it just kind of bummed me out that Mike got the most underwhelming story in terms of how the story ended by the time season 2 ended. And Kim Wexler's storyline is really good too. When she's trying to make new career decisions and she's trying to do something to make her life and job better, you root for her, you want her to succeed, but when things go bad, you feel really bad for her because she's a really good character and she's a really good person. And like I said earlier, Rhea Seehorn, she did a really good job this season. She got more spotlight this time round than she did in season 1, and she did not waste that spotlight one bit. She was really good, and the storyline was really good as well. And her storyline intertwines with Jimmy's storyline and Chuck's storyline, and I thought that it all flowed really well. One thing I liked about season 2 were the moments where Jimmy's bending the rules to get advantages in certain situations. You can tell in those moments that he's starting to become like Saul Goodman, the criminal lawyer himself. But I also like how it showed the consequences that his actions have on the people around him, like Kim and Chuck. It's not just like, oh look, he's becoming more like Saul Goodman because it's called Better Call Saul. There's actually some impact to the things that he does, and I really liked seeing that. Now, one observation that some people will have with the show is that it's really slow, and you would be correct. Season 2 is pretty slow, and after the first 2 episodes, I was actually asking myself, okay, where is this going and how long is it going to take to get there? But by about episode 3 or 4, it starts to get a bit more bearable because more things start happening in the episodes themselves, but the pacing of the show is still relatively slow. I do think season 2 might be better as a binge watch though, because I watched each episode every week. I waited a week for each episode, and it might have had a bit of an effect on my viewing experience. Like the slow pace might have felt slower because I have to wait a week between each episode, so you have like a slow paced episode and you're like, okay, so what was the point of that? Then you have to wait a week, and then you have like another slow paced episode, you're like, okay, where's this show going? So if you binge watch all 10 episodes now, it might not feel as slow compared to when you're waiting a week for each episode. So that's my recommendation. If you haven't seen season 2 of Better Call Saul yet, now's the perfect time to watch it. Binge watch all 10 episodes in one day. Go for it. The last episode of season 2 ends in a way where you're like, oh damn, how's Jimmy gonna get out of this one? And for that reason, I got a little bit more excited for season 3. I just hope that season 3 is not as slow as season 2 and the storylines lead to something more interesting and more riveting. But overall, I liked Better Call Saul season 2, not as much as season 1, but I still think the show has a lot of potential, and I still like the fact how it feels like its own show and it doesn't have to rely on the Breaking Bad formula to be successful. I'm going to give Better Call Saul season 2 4 stars. So have you seen Better Call Saul season 2? What did you think about it? Did you like it more than season 1 or vice versa? Whatever your thoughts are, tell me in the comments below, and if you like this stuff, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Better Call Saul!